Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Surefire, and welcome to the video. In today's video, we're going to cover the Japanese Pantheon, or rather the mythology that surrounds it. If you enjoy the video, then please leave a like, and if you're new to my channel and you enjoy my content, then please subscribe. Like any of the other pantheons we've already covered, the Japanese mythology is used to explain the origin of Japan as well as give some sort of explanation to the cosmos. Now, because this mythology is tied to a religion, it should be noted that this mythology holds a lot of traditions of Japan, such as oral traditions, legends of gods, ceremonies, practices, and historical accounts of Japan's history. Now, with Shinto being the main religion focused with this mythology, I feel it appropriate to cover the origins of it. Now, while we have found earlier roots of it, the most confirmed one that we can say is that Shinto has its earliest roots in 8th century Japan, with its earliest piece being the book known as Kojiki. The Kojiki, along with the Nihon Shoki, is seen as important text to this mythology, covering almost everything that we need for the purpose of this video. To explain a little bit about them, the Kojiki, as stated earlier, is the oldest chronicle of Japan, dating to 711-712. This consists of the origin of the Japanese four home islands, but also contains the origins of the kami. The Nihon Shoki also added to this, however, covering not only the creation myth, but also goes over the first 7 generations of divine beings, as well as holding a number of myths from Japanese folklore. Covering the important beings in this mythology, one thing should be noted about kami. While yes, the kami are gods that are worshipped in Shinto, kami itself can be used to describe any deity, divinity, or spirit in general. In terms of the god, however, the kami are beings of nature, possessing their own characteristics that distinguish themselves. I don't feel like I need to give any examples of kami, but I will give you just a few so I know that we're all on the same page. So some examples of these kami include Amaterasu, Tsukuyomi, Susano'o, Raijin, and of course Fūjin. Another being also spoken much of in Japanese mythology are the yokai. Just to give a broad explanation of the yokai, however, we can see that any monster, spirit, or even demon can and typically are categorized or considered yokai. To help give you an understanding of the yokai, however, we can categorize yokai with the help of 3 characteristics: how they appear to you, what their real appearance may be, and any mutation that their real form or their appeared form may have. I do want to cover the yokai in their own video, but I at least wanted to let you know that they exist and that they look really weird at times. Some examples for them, though, at least the most important one that I feel everyone would know, is the Orochi, which is the being that Susano'o had fought and, of course, acquired one of the sacred treasures from. The last thing I wanted to mention, however, are the Yurei. In brief of terms, they would be what we would consider ghosts or spirits, but they usually have a very horrible creation to them. When a person dies or is killed by a sudden or murderous way, it is possible for a soul to become a Yurei and stay bound to the world, not being able to cross over. This usually happens if their rites were never really properly done, and, they're just usually poor souls, is the best way I can describe it. Talking about spirits, though, that seems to be the best place for us to transition to the cosmology of this mythology, so let's go ahead and cover that next. In terms of spiritual realms, there were only 2 that I could find, those being the Takamagahara and the Yomi no Kuni. While I don't have much on Takama, I can at least say that its name translates to the plane of high heavens. It's the dwelling place of the kami, and it is connected to Earth by a bridge known as the Amano Ukihashi, or the floating bridge of heaven. Yomi, however, we have more information on, if only for the fact that it is the traditional afterlife for this mythology. So Yomi is the land of the dead, is ruled by Izanami, and is often compared to by Hades, and by extension of my own opinion, I'm going to say hell from the Norse mythology. As stated, Yomi is the main route that one could expect to go to when they died. It is seen that when people were to continue to exist, they would exist in this shadowy or gloomy existence. That being said, though, in later myths, however, more concepts of an afterlife did eventually emerge, such as a paradise island for the dead, such as Elysium in the Greek mythology, but also reincarnation itself did eventually occur, which I believe may have been influenced from Buddhist teachings. So earlier in the video, I mentioned how Shinto was a religion that was mostly focused on this Japanese pantheon and mythology, but that was a little bit of a small lie. See, in 550 AD, Buddhism had made its way to Japan, and it had more than enough time to do so, considering it started in the Iron Age of India. While many opposed Buddhism at the time, the royal family encouraged the religion, so it was there to stay. Eventually, the 2 religions would become closely linked, with Buddhist temples containing Shinto shrines, as well as adopting the kami as Buddhist guardians. This would not last, however, as in 1868, the emperor at the time banned Buddhism and Buddhist images from Shinto temples. Seeing as Buddhism is more commonplace in Japan, however, I feel as if his efforts were for naught. Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the video. I hope you managed to get something out of this just like I did. Granted, I feel like I got a lot, considering you know, the video. But that is going to do it, and while normally I do ask you guys what video you want to do next, this time I'm actually challenging myself by tackling the Mayan Pantheon next. As well, I have managed to get an order for what videos will come out next. But I will want you guys to start requesting certain topics if you want. So, a while ago, I did say that I wasn't going to go ahead and cover these until after I finished the Pantheon videos, but I feel as though I'm managing my time much more better with these videos, and I feel I could do the extra step and actually give you guys whatever you requested. So, with that said, if you would like to request any video or any god or whatever that is within, you know, that's covered in the Pantheons of Smite, please feel free to. That said though, any gods that are actually in the game, I'm going to go ahead and ignore those requests, solely for the fact that, you know, they will eventually be covered in their own video. It's just, I'm going to be covering them in order of release, so unfortunately, if you want a specific god in the game, you might have to wait a little bit depending on which god it is, so I do apologize for that. Either way though, I will see you guys in the next video.